We've been more criticized for singing with the real Elvis. Because the Black community obviously felt that we shouldn't be doing it.
Think about what she just said. 2 Black women, soul singers who'd worked with Aretha Franklin, got criticized by their own community for standing on stage with Elvis Presley. Not for a mistake, for being seen with him at all. And behind that criticism sat a single sentence, the worst thing anyone ever said about Elvis. A line so ugly that, for decades, a lot of people simply took it as true. The strange part is that nobody could ever quite say where it came from. So this video is an investigation, not a verdict. We're going to follow that sentence back toward its source, look at what actually holds up, and hear from the people who were in the room. You can make up your own mind at the end. Let's start with the question that kept getting thrown at these women.
So Ebony Magazine, in fact, called us and wanted to know, we got a lot, why are you singing with Elvis Presley?
Why are you singing with Elvis Presley? That question came from everywhere, from the street and, as she says, from the top of Black media itself. And under every version of it sat the same rumor. Here it is, stated once plainly, because you can't examine a thing you refuse to name. The rumor was that Elvis had once said the only thing Black people were good for was to buy his records and shine his shoes. That's the accusation on the table. For a lot of people, it hardened into fact and never softened again. So let's actually pick it up and look at it, starting with something the sweet inspirations noticed right away.
Well, you know what he said about Black people. Yeah, I heard that story too. But I also heard the one he said about Mexican people. It's the same story.
Notice what she just added. The identical insult, the same, all they can do for me is shine my shoes, was also told about Mexican people. Same sentence, same shape, a different target, all pinned on the same man. Now, I want to be careful here, because this doesn't prove anything on its own. Real things people say do get retold, garbled, and reworded over the years. Multiple versions of a quote don't automatically make it false, but it does raise the stakes on one specific question. Where is the stable, original source? If a line keeps reappearing with the target swapped out and no fixed point of origin, then tracing it to where it actually started matters more, not less. So that's the job. Find the source. Myrna, for her part, had a blunt guess about who plants a rumor like this.
That's a story, that's a rumor made up by some rock and roll singer who wanted to be where Elvis was, I suppose.
A jealous rival. Someone who wanted Elvis's spot and reached for a cheap way to knock him off it. She says, I suppose, and she means it. That's a theory, not a finding, and I'm going to treat it as one. What we can actually pin down is where the rumor first showed up in print. And the documented origin is almost stranger than the rumor.
We got over that flag. Ebony Magazine did an article where they researched the statement that Elvis had made some racial slur. And they researched it.
She remembers a magazine researching it, and we'll get to exactly which magazine and what they found, because that part has to be precise. But the trail doesn't begin with the investigation. It begins with the rumor's first appearance in print, and that we can date exactly 1957, in a Fort Worth magazine called Sepia. That is the earliest known printing of the line. And Sepia made a careless mistake. It got specific. It claimed Elvis said it in one of 2 places. In Boston, or on Edward R. Murrow's television program, Person to Person. Both of those are checkable. Both are false. In 1957, Elvis had never set foot in Boston, and he never once appeared on Murrow's show. The only 2 anchors the rumor ever had, gone the second anyone looked.
They had us there in Chicago do an interview to tell how Elvis treated us. And I mean, they researched it for years, talking to different people, Black, white,
Talking to people, Black and white, who actually knew him. That's what real reporting looks like, and it's exactly what one magazine did when the rumor was brand new. In 1957, a black-owned publication called Jet decided to run it down properly. They sent an associate editor named Louis Robinson. Robinson later said chasing the quote to a real source was like running a gopher to earth. Every time he cornered it, it popped up somewhere else with nothing solid behind it. So he did two things most people repeating the rumor never bothered to do. He went to Elvis directly, on the set of the film Jailhouse Rock, and put it to his face. And then he went further. He tracked down people who'd known Elvis since he was a boy in Tupelo, Mississippi, and got them on the record.
And if he said it, I don't care, because there's the things that I've said I don't want anybody repeating.
I want to leave that in because it would be easy to cut. She doesn't claim Elvis was a saint who never said a wrong thing in his life. She says she's said things herself she wouldn't want repeated, and that what she weighs is how he actually treated her, over 8 years. Make of that what you like. As for what Elvis told Robinson face-to-face in 1957, he said he never said it, and that people who knew him knew he wouldn't. Robinson printed his own conclusion, that to Elvis, people were people, regardless of race or color. If you want more history told by the people who were actually there, subscribe to Retro Secrets. Because the paper trail is only half of this. There are also the people who stood right next to him.
But I don't believe that he would make a statement like that, especially knowing the way he treated me.
So let's bring them in and let them speak. Darlene Love, a member of the Blossoms, the group that was Elvis's actual first choice, has said plainly she would never think of Elvis as a racist. B.B. King, who knew Elvis from the Memphis days, defended him in print at the time, and in his own memoir remembered him as polite to a fault, a young man who always called me sir, and who told people King was one of his influences. I'm not going to tell you what to do with that. I'm just going to keep setting these accounts down next to each other and let you see them.
He treated me like a princess. I loved him, and I knew he loved me.
And here's James Brown, the king of soul, on the same man. I wasn't just a fan, Brown said. I was his brother. The two were genuine friends. When Elvis died, Brown was the one artist allowed to stand at the casket alone. Now, this is important, and I don't want to skip it. None of this settles the larger conversation people rightly have about this whole era. There's a real serious debate about whether white performers, Elvis among them, got rich on music that black artists created first and were credited and paid far less for. That debate is legitimate, and it's not going away. But look closely, it's a different question. That one is about an industry. The rumor is about a specific sentence from a specific man that no one can source. Keeping those two apart is the entire job here.
We were treated with such care with the Elvis people, and we didn't have to fend for ourselves.
On that specific question, the sentence, here is Elvis in his own words, in public. He told an interviewer, and I'm quoting, "A lot of people seem to think I started this business, but rock and roll was here a long time before I came along. Let's face it, I can't sing it like Fats Domino can. I know that." And in 1969, in Las Vegas, when a reporter called him the King, Elvis stopped him, pointed across the room to Fats Domino, a black man from New Orleans, and said, "No, that's the real king of rock and roll." He said that in front of the press, on the record. You can weigh it however you like.
Why are you singing with Elvis Presley? You know, why not?
Why not? That was her answer the whole time, to everyone who told her she shouldn't be up there. And there's more to set down, from the years before Elvis was ever accused of anything. He grew up inside black music, the gospel of the churches, the blues of Beale Street, the black radio station WDIA that he listened to religiously. And in the deeply segregated Memphis of 1956, at the peak of his fame, he kept turning up at black events on purpose. A Memphis newspaper reported him at the fairgrounds on the night reserved for black patrons, the night the city called Colored Night. That December, he showed up at WDIA's Charity Review for Black Children on a bill with B.B. King and Ray Charles and took public criticism for being there. King said Elvis did himself proud that night. There's a video on this channel where B.B. King talks about the young Elvis himself. None of this reads a dead man's private heart. Nothing can. It's the documented record of how he actually lived, and you're free to weigh all of it.
They finally came out with a statement recently, not more than 5 years ago, that they had researched this particular theory and they had found that there was no truth to the thought that Elvis had made that racial slur.
No truth to it. Now, here I have to be exact, because this is the load-bearing part. Myrna remembers the magazine as Ebony, remembers it taking years, and remembers the finding coming out fairly recently. The documented record is a little different. The landmark investigation was Jet, Ebony's sister magazine, same publisher. And it happened fast, back in 1957, when Louis Robinson chased the rumor and could not find a source. Myrna may be blending the two, or recalling a later revisit. I can't confirm a separate, years-long Ebony inquiry, so I won't claim one. But here is where her memory and the documented record land in exactly the same place. Whoever did the digging, and whenever they did it, they came to the same conclusion. No source, no proof, nothing underneath. So here's an honest question for the comments. When a claim has no traceable origin, changes its target to fit the teller, and is denied by nearly everyone who was actually there, what should we call it? Tell me below.
Well, you know what he said about black people. Yeah, I heard that story too.
I heard that story too. Everybody heard the story. That's the thing about it. The story traveled, and it kept traveling, long after anyone who checked it came up empty. It turned up in arguments, in songs, in classrooms for decades after the man was gone. That's the strange afterlife of a claim that survived its own correction. A finding never travels as far as an accusation, which is why the people who could answer it best, the ones who were actually there, matter so much. And one of them has the last word.
Because as far as I'm concerned, Elvis treated us royally.
As far as she's concerned, Elvis treated them royally. That's where the woman who was actually in the room lands after all of it. So, let me be honest about what an investigation like this can and can't do. We can't read anyone's private heart, and I won't pretend to. What we can do is follow the evidence and lay it out plainly. Laid out, it looks like this. The worst sentence ever hung on Elvis Presley has no traceable source. It swaps its target depending on who's telling it. It was denied by the man himself. It failed the one serious investigation that went looking for where it started. And it's contradicted by nearly every black artist who actually worked beside him. What you do with all of that is genuinely yours to decide. I'll just leave you with the question the whole thing keeps circling back to. When everyone who was in the room tells you one thing and a sourceless rumor tells you another, which one earns your belief? Tell me in the comments. And if you want more history from the people who were really there, subscribe to Retro Secrets. I'll see you in the next one.